Alright, what's happening, dudes? I'm Kevin Duty, and today we're talking about two knives that are in the same family. And that family is the Pilar series. I believe it is pronounced Pilar. It's Pilar. I've heard some people say Pilar, Pilar. I say Pilar, but who knows if I'm right. The company making these knives is CRKT, and up top we have the Pilar 3, and on the bottom we have the Pilar Large. Now there is a third knife in the family, the regular Pilar, that I do not have at the moment, but once I do get it, I will have another video comparing all three of them together. The missing one I don't have, the Pilar, is in between these two sizes. I believe it's I believe it's the smaller of the bunch. So let's talk about it. These are really great knives, as you can probably tell just by looking at them. They're some of the most comfortable knives that I own to hold in the hand. So let's talk about first the one on the bottom here, the Pilar Large. Now this one I have modified a bit, as you might be able to tell. I have sanded off the logo on the blade, and this originally came in just a bead blasted stainless steel like this side, but I sanded it down and added a gun blue to it. I just wanted to spice it up a little bit, and I think it turned out pretty neat. I also gave it a nice mirror edge, if you can see that. Extremely sharp. So let's see. The blade length on the Pilar Large is 2.69. The blade steel is 8CR13 MOV, so not the best steel, but it does its job. The overall length open is 6.69. Nice. And the weight is 4.2 ounces, so it's a heavy guy. Being this scale and the locking side scale all being stainless steel, it's a hefty little knife. But I don't mind that, honestly. I kind of view this knife as a little tank. It's heavy. It's got a thick blade stock there, and it's a chunky boy. And I like that. It's really durable. No side to side play at all. The lockup is rock solid, rock solid. Let's talk about some pros and cons to the Pilar Large. First, let's look at the pros. And number one is the ergonomics. It is insane how locked in you feel when you're gripping this knife. It's really something else. You can see my front finger is in this front finger choil. Second one falls in this groove, and then the last two are falling right at the end here. And man, I just love gripping this knife. Even if I'm not, I'll just open it up and just hold it like this. It just feels so good. It's absolutely not going anywhere. You can hold it like this. You can put your thumb up here very comfortably for putting a lot of pressure into your cuts. So in my mind, the number one pro on this knife is the ergonomics. Secondly, I really like the blade shape. This blade shape would be called a sheep's foot blade, I believe, which is really good for utility cuts. This kind of cut that you'd be making. The thumb hole I really like. So we have two means of deployment here. There's a flipper tab and a thumb hole. Honestly, wish that there wasn't even a flipper tab. I would have been fine with only having the finger hole there. But it's fine. It doesn't really get in the way. And once in a while, I'll open it that way. There's nothing wrong with it. It works just fine. But I would have rather had just the hole. Some cons are the pocket clip. Just look at it. It's a sorry It's a sorry little pocket clip. It's not deep carry. I do like the size. I'm glad it's smaller, but you know, it works fine. But it's not deep carry. You know, I wish it had a better clip like the one on the Pilar 3 that you'll see in a minute. Another con is the action. Maybe, I mean, this is a relatively new knife, so it might break in. But it is on bearings, and I was expecting it to be a little bit more smooth and a little bit more drop sheddy. I can shake it closed, but yeah. Another thing is the detent is right there, which I don't like. I like it when the detent stops the blade further up. What I mean is when I go to close the knife, I have to bring it all the way down here and get it past that before I can shake it shut like that. So that's just a little nitpicky thing. It's not the end of the world, but you know. And then lastly, for the cons, the blade steel, which is 8CR13 MOV. I think I mentioned that already. It's, you know, I wish it was D2, you know, but for what this knife is, which is basically, honestly, a glorified box opener, it's fine. It'll work. I just wish it was. I wish it was D2. They could have used D2 and had it around the same price. So that's the Pilar Large. Next, let's take a look at my favorite of the bunch, the Pilar 3. Let's get to my notes here. Alright, we have a blade length of 2.97, so just about 3 inches. Overall length of 7.19 and a weight of 3.6 ounces. So it's quite a bit lighter than the Pilar Large. Now, this one also is running on bearings, and it is much, much smoother, as you can see. Much smoother. Maybe this one will break in to be that smooth. Maybe. I hope so. I really like this knife. Ergonomically, it's the same deal. I have very large finger choils. Really, really nice. It's just so comfortable. I might even, well, yeah, I will say it. It's more comfortable than the large. It's definitely more comfortable. It feels like I'm holding on to some silly putty that I'm grabbing onto that's just molded to my hand. That's what it feels like. This one does not have a flipper tab, which I like. I like the blade shape. Really like the blade shape. It has a nice, much nicer clip. The clip is inset there, so you're not going to have any pocket snaggers. Not too much of a bill on the clip too. I really actually like this clip a lot. Blade steel D2, perfect. Not complaining about that for this price point. And yeah, I actually I cut this jimping in on the spine myself. It did not come that way, and it's fine without it, but it even adds more of a secure feeling while you're gripping the knife than it was before. So I really like this blade. I like the stone washing on the blade finish. I wish the large had a stone wash, you know, but yeah, it's alright. It is what it is. Now this one, you know what? I'm not sure. I don't think they sell aftermarket scales for this knife. I think they do for the large, and they absolutely do for the Pilar, regular Pilar that I don't have here. The one that I don't have here, the Pilar, is very customizable. There are a ton of aftermarket mods you can get for that one, which is why I want to get it in my collection. Another nice little detail is this brass backspacer you get here. The backspacer on the Pilar Large is just stainless steel. So that's a nice little touch. All right, overall, love these knives. They are maybe best bang for your buck in that price range that you're gonna find. They are a little bit more expensive than the Ontario Rat Model 1 and 2. But, you know, you're getting better ergonomics, more secure lockups. Neither of these knives have any kind of motion in the blade when they're open at all. Completely solid. And that's pretty impressive for having this good of action, and no blade movement at all. So that's great. One thing I didn't mention is these are both Voxnaes designs. He does a lot of designs for CRKT and, well, a lot of companies, to be honest. But he's big on ergonomic lines and you know, comfortability in the hand. So it's no surprise that these knives are just extremely ergonomic and extremely, you know, fun to hold and fun to use. All right, that's gonna be it. Thanks for watching. Adios.